So I actually sold a lot of these in Melbourne. So can I have a hand up if you've ever seen someone demonstrating peelers with table of orange products and slices and that, and vegetables flying everywhere? Can I have a show of hands who's seen that in the malls in Melbourne? So half the people here have seen it. So we sold probably 100,000 of those. It was in Melbourne. There's about 8 people right now, tomorrow included, this week in Melbourne, selling those, demonstrating them in trade shows, shopping centres, and they actually sell like hotcakes. But it's not just because of the product, it's because of the way it's marketed. Obviously that's been around for like 70 years, the peeler, but it's the way that we obviously market the product. It's not actually the product itself. So how I started that, I just saw someone else doing it. Like, I didn't have the original idea to do it. I saw someone else doing it. I was actually in Adelaide, and I thought, you know, I'll give that a try. So I worked for the guys that were selling it, and then I was selling it all right, and I said, oh, I think I'll buy some of these from the middleman and get totally ripped off, which is okay to do a couple of times just to get yourself started in the business, and it builds your confidence. And I think the scariest decision at first was just the first $2,000 that you had to buy. It was like, I'm going to lose this money, I'm never going to see it again. It's only $2,000, but your first decision is the hardest. And then, yeah, I don't know why it was such a big decision, because we probably made $2 or $3 just in the first week, just me and a mate in a little shopping centre out back of Adelaide. And then we thought, hey, this actually works. So we got agents selling them all over Australia now. And the chamois as well. Can I have a hand raise if you've seen the chamois for sale in shopping centres around here? Yep, I probably sold you some of them. Some of you probably saw me in there. From time to time, I used to go in there a few years back. Obviously, I don't sell either of the products personally myself anymore, unless someone wants some training and I've got some time to do it. Yeah, so I'll tell you that story about, Mum was looking for some work. She lives up here in Melbourne, and I said, yeah, give either of these 2 products a go. They sell really well. And the first day we did it at, I think it was Box Hill or somewhere, we were driving home and she's counting the cash, and it's like this big wad of cash like that, because you got some 50s and some 20s and everything. And she's going, are you sure this is legal? Are you sure this isn't illegal? Like, she doesn't know the laws, right? She thinks, surely you can't just set up shop and just start making cash. And I said, yeah. I was just obviously just pretending. I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure. And then just to freak her out, I yell out, Mum, cops, cops. And so she throws the money in the car, and so there's like notes flying everywhere. So yeah, like when you first start, like it is just a little bit daunting. You don't really know what you're doing. That's why it's good to have someone to kind of, I suppose, help you along the journey. I think most people that I talk to that are my friends and that, they go, oh, that's a great idea. And they look at me like they could never do it. And it's like, look, all you have to do is find the right product at the right price and then find the right people. It's not that difficult. I know a guy on the Gold Coast, right? He buys 10 motorbikes from China for $1,000 each. Puts them in his garage, and just the same way you sell a car when you don't want your car anymore, he puts an ad on the internet, come and buy it, never used, brand new, as if he's got one to sell, brand new motorbike, never used. They get there and there's 10 in the garage, they pick one, they pay $4,000 for it, and he's just made $3,000 profit in just one sale in literally probably 1 hour on a Saturday morning, right? So that's, how much is that if you do that just one a week? That's $150,000 a year just working 50 weeks, right? So that's working 3 hours a week. He's earning $150,000 a year. I earned $150,000 profit in my first 12 months of just selling them.
What was the lesson you learned about the importing?
Yeah, okay. So I was a bit slow to learn that you don't buy forever from a middleman. It's maybe okay to do it the first couple of times to test the water, because you don't have to buy such big minimums. But yeah, probably 3 or 4 months in, if I had done the course earlier at the very beginning before I did any of the importing, I probably, instead of, when I first bought these, I was getting ripped off. I was paying $2 for them, and then I bargained down, got it for $1.80, and then I bargained and got them for $1.50, and eventually got them down to $1.20. And as you can see, that the cost was really only 37 cents, so the middleman was making he probably made 300 grand out of me. So he did really well considering he didn't have to lift a finger. So yeah, and now I am that middleman, so I can't complain too much that he was making money out of me being the middleman. But yeah, the people, like one of the guys that started work with me has a real success story. He was 18, he was working in a video shop for $15 an hour in Adelaide. He now lives here in Melbourne. You'll see him in the shopping centres from time to time. And he's a bit taller than me. His name's Jed, and yeah, he wouldn't quit his job. I said, you've got to quit your job. I can't move you on to a better thing if you won't let go of the thing in your hand. Some people just, it's their security blanket and they won't let go of what they're doing because they've always done it. After a few months, he quit his job in the video shop, and he started selling both of these products with me, as well as the chamois, and he'd make $1,000 to $2,000 a day in sales, and then he'd get like $300 and he'd be over the moon happy because none of his mates are making $300 a day. And I get the $1,400 or whatever's left. And then he just bought a Porsche the other day. He picks me up, drives me around, like he feels like he owes me, so he's always doing favours, and he's my personal taxi now around Melbourne. So he's probably on about 200 grand a year, and he's got maybe a team of people like selling for him. So he doesn't technically have to do anything himself anymore, but obviously he wants to expand. He's pretty young. He's full of energy.
Isn't that exciting? Potato peelers and chamois, right? $250,000 a year. I'm going to get Fred up as well. Another gentleman, he actually lives in Melbourne. He said,